Hey there, welcome everybody to another edition of TXN Sports World. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We are maybe awaiting the presence of Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. Or if not, then we will see him next week because he will not be with us tomorrow night because he's got a very busy weekend ahead of him with the 24-hour super plunge as part of Special Olympics Rhode Island. And we'll see if we get him here tonight, or if not, then the earliest we could get him back here would probably be Tuesday night for Ridiculously Raw. But tonight, here on TXN Sports World, it's a very special edition of TXN Sports World, as this show tonight is all about the NCAA tournament. The NCAA tournament, of course, kicking off on this past Tuesday night with the first four games in Dayton, Ohio. And we started it off with the battle of 16 seeds, St. Francis versus Alabama State. And Alabama State winning that game by a score of 70-68. And that earned Alabama State the right to face number one overall seed Auburn. And we'll get into that result in just a little bit. Second game on Tuesday night. That game was from the South Regional. Another game from the South Regional. Battle of 11 seeds. It was the North Carolina Tar Heels versus the San Diego State Aztecs. And it was all North Carolina in that game. 95-68. North Carolina all over San Diego State. And with that win, North Carolina advances to meet Ole Miss. And I believe that game will be going down tomorrow, I believe. So that was a win for North Carolina. And then yesterday, in the East Regional, battle of 16 seeds, it was Mount St. Mary's versus American. And Mount St. Mary's defeating American 83-72. And that earned Mount St. Mary's a date with the Duke Blue Devils in Raleigh tomorrow. MF and his crew will have that game for you. And then in the game of the first round, or in the first four rather, Midwest Regional, battle of 11 seeds, the Xavier Musketeers versus the Texas Longhorns. And it was Xavier defeating Texas 86-80. And Xavier will play Illinois, the 6th seed, and that game will go down tomorrow. So with that being said, let us now dive in to the round of 64 games that started today, and then we'll also address the games that are going on at this hour right now. So let's pull it up here. The scores from the first four action that went down. I mean, the game started at 12 o'clock, of course. So here we go. It started off with this was a South Regional game. It was at the Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. The number 8 seed Louisville Cardinals versus the number 9 seed Creighton Blue Jays. Creighton advances. Creighton defeats Louisville by a score of 89-75. The first game of the day here at the Amica Mutual Pavilion in Providence, Rhode Island. It featured from the Midwest region, the number 4 seed Purdue Boilermakers against the number 13 seed High Point. And Purdue advances to the second round. They defeated High Point 75-63. And then the next game came to us from the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. This came out of the East region, as it was the number 3 seed Wisconsin Badgers against the number 14 seed Montana Grizzlies. and it was Wisconsin defeating Montana 85-66. And then the final early afternoon game, it came to us from I believe this came to us from the Midwest region in Wichita, Kansas, as it was the number 1 seed, Houston, squaring off against the 16 seed, SIU Edwardsville. Houston, all the time, 78-40. Houston, all over SIU Edwardsville. The second round of games, the late afternoon games, starting with action from, and the next game featured the number 1 overall seed, the Auburn Tigers. They squared off against Alabama State. I got to tell you, Alabama State gave Auburn a little bit of a scare early in that game. But then as the game progressed, Auburn remembered who they were, remembered they were the number 1 overall seed, and then they just started cooking with gas, and then Auburn was eventually able to put away Alabama State 83-63. So Auburn advances to the second round. What's an NCAA tournament without a 12-5 upset? Well, it would be boring, pretty much. And it came from Providence, Rhode Island. Yes, there were some screaming Anthony Florio moments during that game, as it was the number 12 seed McNeese State upsetting the number 5 seed Clemson 69-67. Another year, another 12-5 upset. We got one as McNeese defeats Clemson 69-67. And then we went back to Denver for the number 6 seed BYU versus the number 11 seed VCU. BYU wins the game by a score of 80-71. So BYU will now face Wisconsin in a second round game on Saturday. And then from there, we had the Battle of the Bulldogs, and this was not even close. Number 8 seed Gonzaga versus number 9 seed Georgia, and Gonzaga smashed Georgia 89-68. They jumped out to they started the game on a 13-0 run, got as high as 27-3 at one point during that game. And I was like, wow, okay, Gonzaga, we see you. 89-68, Gonzaga all over Georgia. So second round game on Saturday, it will be Gonzaga squaring off against Houston. Man, what a game that's going to be. And that takes care of the late afternoon games. And now the early evening games. We started it off with, out of the Midwest region in Lexington, Kentucky, number 2 seed Tennessee, the Tennessee Volunteers versus the 15 seed Wofford Terriers. Tennessee winning that game by a score of 77-62. Oh, by the way, McNeese, who pulled the upset over Clemson, McNeese will now face Purdue in Providence on Saturday. Tennessee advancing over Wofford 77-62. The game of the day in Providence so far, highly anticipated game. Out of the West region, number 7 seed Kansas, number 10 seed Arkansas. And it was 10 seed Arkansas upsetting the 7 seed Kansas 79-72. Arkansas advances to the second round. And then from the out of the, let's see which region this came out of. This came from the South region. This game was in Denver. It was the number 4 seed Texas A&M Aggies versus the number 13 seed Yale Bulldogs, and it was Texas A&M holding off Yale 80-71. Texas A&M advances to the second round. They will play the winner of Michigan and UC San Diego, which is going on at this hour. We'll give you an update on that in just a moment. And then another big upset today. And I got to tell you, I had this one. This one out of the West region, it was the 6th seed Missouri versus the number 11 seed Drake. Drake defeats Missouri 67-57. Drake advances to the second round, and Drake will square off against either 3 seed Texas Tech or number 14 seed UNC Wilmington on Saturday. So let's now get into the games that are currently going on at this hour. And here we go. Currently, and I'm going to go off my computer screen here. We have the out of, I believe this is out of the, let's see, this is East Regional action from the Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. We have the number 10 seed Utah State squaring off against the 7 seed UCLA. It's into the second half. UCLA leading Utah State 47-33. That's going on at this hour. And you can find that game over on TNT. You can look for that game on TNT. We didn't expect much out of this game here. We thought this was going to be a cakewalk for the number 2 seed St. John's Red Storm going up against the number 15 seed Omaha. St. John's is winning, but they're only winning by 4, if you can believe that. I mean, Omaha jumped out to a 7-0 lead in this game, and they are giving St. John's some major fits in this game. It is currently 30-26 St. John's with a minute and 23 to go in the first half. And you can find that game over on the mothership on CBS. Winner of this game will meet Arkansas. And the Utah State UCLA winner will square off against Tennessee. And then from there, we have, it is the number out of the South region. It's that 5-12 matchup. The number 5 seed Michigan against number 12 seed UC San Diego. Michigan currently leads UC San Diego 28-19 with about 5 minutes to go in the first half. And a game that just tipped off a short time ago. The number 3 seed Texas Tech out of the West region squaring off against the 14 seed UNC Wilmington. And Texas Tech has jumped out to an 11-3 lead. So that's everything. That's everything going on right now at this hour. And major respect for Omaha here. I mean, Omaha is giving St. John's major fits right now. But then again, when you have one of the most over tag teams in all elite wrestling, the Outrunners, rallying you guys, I think the Outrunners might have had an effect on them because they're playing like the Outrunners right now. I mean, we thought St. John's was gonna roll these guys, but I mean, I know I certainly did. But boy, oh boy, Omaha, yeah, we're taking Manning when we need him. Omaha. I mean, man alive, unbelievable. So yeah, very exciting day so far. And of course, the three of us currently are in the, of course, as you know, I launched our TXN Sports World Bracket Manager over on CBSSports.com. And currently, as of right now, MF and I are both tied with 8 points right now. Michael Bullock right behind at 7 points. So we got an early dogfight on our hands between the three of us. So good day so far. A lot of blowouts in the early games. I mean, we didn't really see too many competitive games outside of that McNeese Clemson game. We're starting to see a little more competitive fire here in the evening games, but right now the game to watch right now on CBS, St. John's and Omaha in Providence. So 30-28. St. John's currently leads. Omaha. Oh, Omaha turned the ball over. Oh boy. Okay, so but we'll tell you right now, if it's warranted, we might have some bonus commentary later in the show. So we'll see what happens. So good first day. Good first day. So 8 for me, 8 for MF, 7 for Bullock. As we get into our final round of games for the night. So not much more to say on that. So obviously the standouts, number 12s. We had our first 12-5 upset with McNeese upsetting Clemson in Providence today. And of course, the other big upset, 11 seed Drake knocking off the 6 seed Missouri. Other than those two, everything has pretty much been status quo. So not much more to say. I'm going to turn it over now to the voice of our voice of March Madness, good old MF Michael Fletcher. And MF, how's day one been? What stood out to you as far as day one is concerned of this tournament?
Well, right now, I kind of feel like it's the same thing as you acknowledged, Anthony, early on. You know, the Drake upset of Missouri. I think that was definitely one of those that we were just like, wow, that was, even though many people picked Drake to win that game. It was one of those. I'll believe it when I see it. I saw it, and I believe it. Drake was played an amazing game to win their opening round matchup and to do it in a way that was uh, I'm not gonna say one sided, but they definitely got the job done. They played exactly what they needed to play. They handled what they needed to handle, and for and with Drake, they shot 50% from 3-point range, where basically Missouri only shot 4 of 16 from behind the arc. Drake, an amazing 54% from the field, and Missouri was only 33%. That was total domination in the game. They out rebounded them 31-26. And when you get those type of stats, those type of numbers, there's no way you're winning a game like that. Drake absolutely went in, got the job done, dominated when they needed to dominate, and really, really, really put the pedal to the metal on them. And won their game pretty handily. I think the only other thing that really stood out, just to say, Tennessee looked good in their first game. A&M looked good. Yale gave them a little bit of a scare there. The one thing is, I know a lot of people is looking at that score line for McNeese State versus Clemson, and a lot of people is going to be like, "Wow, that was a really close game. Was it a nail biter?" No. McNeese State jumped out to a 24-point lead on Clemson, and they pulled a lot of their starters out. That's why Clemson started to come back. It basically McNeese State dominated the performance all through the game. It wasn't even close. It looks close on the score sheet, but trust me, folks, if you watch this game from beginning to end, the Cowboys dominated and won this game. Even though McNeese State shot about 44% from the field, but they were horrible behind the three. 4 of 19 for only 21% from 3-point range. But Clemson was no better. They shot from 30%. They were 9 of 30 from the charity stripe. But look at the numbers. And here's why I believe they won this game. McNeese out-rebounded them 43-36. Offensive rebounds, they dominated 18-13 in the game. Shemay also had 13 points to go in. Murray was the big man for them coming off the towards the end of the game. Murray was their big man with 21 points in the game for McNeese State to win and to move on to the next round of the tournament. And like you said, Anthony, other than that, basically right now the entire rest of the bracket it's been status quo. Beat Louisville. I know a lot of people yelling about Louisville should have been ranked higher because of the selection committee. I don't know. It is what it is. So yeah, that proved to be type of a game. Purdue early on looked good. It looked a little closer than what the experts have it, but Purdue definitely handled their business. Wisconsin domination, no doubt about it. Houston had a near skip, they had no trouble with their first round matchup. Anthony, you were right. Alabama State, that was tight early in the first half, and I know a lot of people were hitting me up. They're like, "Yo, are we about to see a 16-1 again?" And I was like, "I don't think so. I think Auburn will figure it out. They gotta find themselves. They found themselves in the second half. Gonzaga domination early on, no doubt about it. Tennessee, like I said, easy win for them. And so far, at least for me, the game of the day, Arkansas and Kansas in Providence, that game was amazing to the very end. Arkansas got the job done. They got the job done, and that was a big win for them. And as far as the games going on right now at this hour, Texas Tech was looking good earlier. All of a sudden, UNC Wilmington's making a little bit of a run. It's getting a little interesting. The game's starting to tighten up a little bit. So that's a blowout. Same thing. They're looking really good right now. They're ahead. And then as far as the other game goes here in Providence, I got to say, man, I was at that practice. My favorite team coming out of that practice yesterday was Omaha. There was something about this team where I was like, man, I'm going to keep a close eye on this one. And boy, they're delivering on everything I thought I was watching. Because when I saw that practice yesterday, Omaha on the court, they were really working on the three-point, looking like it's working because they've been nailing some shots. Yes, they're down, but they're close. They're right there. If they keep it tight, if they keep it close, who knows? We might have a monster on our hands. We might have the biggest upset of day one if Omaha knocks off St. John's. Because right now, St. John's is only up, not by much, but the way that Omaha's been playing, man, if they hang around, if they keep it close, I don't know, boys. I think we might have ourselves a way thoughts on day one.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? I mean, this has been an absolutely crazy. Day one up to this point with the first round of the first day of the NCAA tournament, and like you said, the game of the day up to this point was Arkansas and Kansas, and think about this, boys. Kansas, I mean, they started the season as they were the preseason number one team in the nation, and yet they get knocked out in the first round against Arkansas. So, I mean, can we say that this was an ultimate disappointment for Kansas? I definitely say so.
I do too.
With the expectations that Kansas has, and it's always national championship or bust for Raw Drop Jayhawk. And I'll say this: there was something about, and because I was there yesterday for their practice, and Michael Bullock, and something just seemed off. Like the aura. It was like there wasn't that aura of Kansas. It didn't look like there was that invincibility. There was something missing. I couldn't put my finger on it, and the thing was, they shortened their practice pretty quick. They came in about a little bit later on because their sessions is about 45 minutes long. You're allowed 45 minutes to do your practice. Kansas came in around 10 minutes late. They were about 35 minutes in, and then they were done with about 10 minutes left in their practice.
And that's when you knew something was off.
Yeah, something. And the thing was, I think they were overconfident because even at the end when they broke their huddle, they chanted national champions. So
yeah,
I kind of felt like
that's kind of like a bad look for them.
It kind of feels like I don't want to say it.
They took Arkansas lightly.
I think exactly, yes. I don't think I saw, because when I saw Arkansas, because I came in around, because I didn't stay the whole day.
The thing is, when you mentioned that, Fletch, now that you say it, Kansas thought that this was going to be a piece of cake, like they were going to have no problems with Arkansas.
Yeah.
And what's the thing that we always say? You don't take any team lightly, because if you do that, you're basically showing disrespect to them. I mean, because the thing is, look who's the coach on that side for Arkansas, the great John Calipari. So don't you dare disrespect someone who has a legendary coach like John Calipari, who's been there and done that. And I'm pretty sure he must have heard what Kansas was saying, and he probably used that as motivation for his guys, saying, hey, these guys, they don't respect us, and they think this is going to be a walk in the park. So go out there tomorrow and show them that this ain't going to be no walk in the park.
And I will say this, Kansas had their moments in the game where they could have won this. It's just there was a couple of mistakes that were made, a couple of key turnovers, couple of three-pointers that didn't go where and they were open looks. So we can't just say that Kansas was not prepared. They were prepared. They looked like they were ready. It's just that Arkansas just made a couple of key moments, and they made some key plays towards the end that proved to be the difference maker, and that's why they won this game.
And that they're moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other standouts, I mean Gonzaga blowing out Georgia, and I'm telling you this, guys. I know people are going to be saying, Houston is they're not going to have any problems with Gonzaga, but what did I tell you guys when we had our selection Sunday?
Yeah. Keep an eye on Gonzaga.
Scares the living daylights out of me, because this team has been there. They've done that when they're the underdog, when they are a lower seed, and Mark Few has done this for so many years with Gonzaga.
Yeah.
And I mean, Houston better not take Gonzaga lightly, because if they do, that could be big time trouble for Houston, and they could end up going home, and Gonzaga could do it again. I think Houston's going to win it, Fletch, but I'm not at all. I'm not too comfortable with this because of Gonzaga's history.
And you know what? I totally agree with that, and I understand your sentiments. But the way I saw Houston look, it looked like clockwork for them. They didn't really have a major threat. They didn't really have any problems. As a matter of fact, they got to sat some of their starters towards the end of the game, which is probably a good thing. But Gonzaga also did, because they dominated so early that they even pulled their starters out towards the end. So, I mean, if you really think about it, it's kind of a wash. We're just going to have to wait and see how it goes. But I kind of feel like Houston's guard play is gonna be the difference maker, and that's why I think Houston does win. But could Gonzaga pull the upset? Absolutely. If they have the performance that they had earlier today, there's a very good possibility the first number one could actually fall. Like so your
That's
concern,
why I'm so intrigued with this
yeah,
second round matchup. I
and
mean,
and
if
your
everybody thinks
concern is very valid.
and if everybody thinks this is going to be a cakewalk for Houston, I I still think they're going to win, but I think it's going to be closer than what everybody's thinking. That's just how I feel.
Hmm.
So yeah, Houston, they need to play the way they played today, and if they don't, Gonzaga's going to look at this as their opportunity to pull off the upset and be the first one to knock out a number one seed. So we'll see what happens come Saturday. Um, but McNeese, I mean, yes, it ended up getting close at the end against Clemson, but I'll be quite honest with you, Fletch. It never felt close at all with the way McNeese played throughout that game. I mean,
Absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely, you're right.
don't let that final score fool you. I mean, yes, I mean Clemson caught up, but it never felt close throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the exact thing because of course I was with my Discord friends, and I gotta give a lot of love to the Discord crew. They actually had the fast break, so we were watching four games at the same time, basically going through it, watching all the action. So we weren't missing a game. If there was something exciting, we obviously went to that particular game, but we were watching all four at once because of like I said, thank you March Madness app, thank you to the fast break because they gave us we had the quad boxes at the same time, and when we were watching that particular game, the league got up to 24. And it looked like Clemson threw it, and it looked like McNeese State pulled their starters out. So a lot of the guys who were there were backups. And that's when Clemson started making the run to get back. But by then,
It
the
was too
damage
little too late.
yeah, the damage was already done. But again, if you look at the score line, you're thinking, oh my God, it was a nail biter. It was back. It must have been close. Guys, if you watch this game from beginning to end, it wasn't even close. It was a beatdown. It was McNeese State kind of throwing the white flag. They threw in the towel like, you know what? We're done. There's nothing more to say. There's nothing more for us to do. It almost bit them in the ass, but it did not because they were able to hold off at the end.
Yeah. So again, like I said, don't let that final score uh, fool you because it was never close. Because I watched that game from beginning to end. So yeah, I mean,
As did I Bullet. That was our game. We covered it. So
yeah. I mean,
because we're covering the Providence games, and whereas MF, you and your crew will be covering the Raleigh games tomorrow.
mm-hmm.
So
And trust me and the Discord guys, we're ready. Jake Turner, Austin Slokey, and myself in Raleigh with Amanda A. Dubs. She is our sideline reporter for the first round, and yeah, and our other partner. We call him Connor Pillman, but we call him Connor Pillow. It's a don't worry about it. It's just a play on words. Hey, he's a cool guy. Very cool, very knowledgeable. The guys who I got, we're ready for the NCAA tournament tomorrow.
Oh yeah, and I know you will be. Now, getting back to this, I mean, I know, of course, with the Auburn Alabama State game, I mean, yeah, Alabama State did hang around, but I was like, Auburn's going to find a way. They're going to pull away, and that's exactly what they did. The number one overall seed, they handled their business. And Tennessee, I mean, they handled their business with Wolford. You could say the same with Wisconsin over Montana. Purdue and High Point. I mean, the thing is, I mean, High Point, when they got it to a 3-point game, I mean, part of me was like thinking, could they do this? But at the end of the day, I mean, Purdue went on a really nice run, and that pretty much ended it. And the thing is, the thing that really helped Purdue, it was the rebounding, the second chance point that they got. I mean, that's why they were able to win this game. So yeah, so yeah, and BYU, of course, handling their business with VCU. Uh, yeah, Creighton, of course, beating Louisville. So yeah, a lot of good things that really happened today in the first day, and of course, we still got these four other games that are going on right now. The last set of games. Um, and as of right now, as I see over on TNT, I mean, UCLA, it looks like, barring some miracle from Utah State, it looks like UCLA is going to move on. And Omaha and St. John's are getting ready to start the second half. And of course, Michigan and UC San Diego, they're at the half. And then, of course, with just about 9 minutes to go, Texas Tech is leading UNC Wilmington. So we'll see how the rest of these games go as we get set to close out the first day of the NCAA tournament and look ahead to tomorrow's final set of first round matchups. So those are just my standouts from day one. So Florio, it is the floor is yours.
All right, guys. And now we're going to set up for tomorrow. We're going to let's take a look at the games that we have going down tomorrow here. And MF, you and your crew, you're going to be first up to bat. You're leading off the very first game of tomorrow's action at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time. East Region action from Raleigh, North Carolina. The number 8 seed Mississippi State Bulldogs versus the number 9 seed Baylor Bears. 12:15. And that game, you can find that game over on, I believe it's CBS, the mothership.
It is CBS, yes.
Yep, it is the mothership. Yep, okay. And then from there, also East Region action from Cleveland, Ohio. This will be on True TV. The number 2 seed Alabama Crimson Tide squaring off against the number 15 seed Robert Morris. That game will tip off at 12:40 on True TV. And then after that, we have, this is going to be South Regional action, 1:30 p.m. on TNT from the Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It will be the number 3 seed Iowa State Cyclones squaring off against the number 14 seed Lipscomb. And then at 2 p.m. over on TBS, it will be West Regional action from Seattle, as it'll be the number 5 seed Memphis Tigers squaring off against the number 12 seed Colorado State Rams. So that's the early afternoon games for tomorrow. The second round of games, approximately 2:50 p.m. on CBS. Number 1 seed in the East Region, MF's Duke Blue Devils, and they're going to square off against the number 16 seed Mount St. Mary's. And then from there, with we have action from the East Region. The second game from Cleveland, Ohio. Approximate tip-off, 3:15 p.m. tomorrow. Number 7 seed, St. Mary's, squaring off against the number 10 seed, the Vanderbilt Commodores. 4:05 p.m. I believe this will be on TNT. Yes, this game will be on TNT. The second game from the Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. The number 6 seed, Ole Miss Rebels, against the number 11 seed, North Carolina Tar Heels. Oh, that's going to be a tough one for Ole Miss, especially after how Carolina played the other night in that first 4. And then approximately 4:35 p.m. over on TBS. I believe this is West Regional action. The second game from Seattle. The number 4 seed, Maryland Terrapins, squaring off against the number 13 seed, Grand Canyon. So that'll be the late afternoon games. The third round of games, the early evening games, the primetime games. This will be West Region action from Raleigh, North Carolina, approximately 6:50 on TNT. The number 1 seed in the West, MF Junior Crew will get them. The Florida Gators, squaring off against the number 16 seed Norfolk. And then at approximately 7:10 p.m., and I believe this game will be over on CBS. Yes, from Milwaukee. Number 3 seed from the Midwest region, the Kentucky Wildcats, squaring off against the 14 seed Troy Trojans. That'll be at approximately 7:10 p.m. on CBS. And then at 7:25 over on, I want to say it's on TBS, yes, from Cleveland, Ohio. South Region action. Number 7 seed, Marquette Golden Eagles, squaring off against the number 10 seed, New Mexico Lobos. And then to round out the early evening at the primetime action tomorrow at 7:35. And this will be over on TNT. This will be, or I should say on True TV, rather. True TV, East Region action from Seattle. And this will give us the number 4 seed Arizona Wildcats against the 13 seed Akron Zips. And then in the late evening games, the late prime time, in the late night games, the final game of the day in Raleigh at 9:25 p.m. on TNT, South Region action. The number 8 seed, reigning, defending, back-to-back national champions, the Yukon Huskies, squares off against the number 9 seed, the Oklahoma Sooners. And then 9:45 p.m. tomorrow, action from the Midwest region from Milwaukee, the number 6 seed Illinois Fighting Illini, squaring off against the number 11 seed Xavier Musketeers. And then at 10 p.m. approximately tomorrow night, and this game will come to us, I believe, from the South region, the final game from Cleveland, Ohio. The number 2, and this will be on TBS, the number 2 seed Michigan State Spartans, squaring off against our local team that made the tournament this year, the number 15 seed Bryant Bulldogs. Good luck, Bryant. And then in the final game of the night, 10:10 p.m. approximately tomorrow night, and this game will be coming to us from Seattle. And it'll be on True TV. The number 5 seed Oregon Ducks against the number 12 seed Liberty Flames. So there, I hope you got all that. So that's all the action for tomorrow. So MF, what stands out to you when it comes to what are some standout games other than your games, of course, for day 2 tomorrow?
Yeah, obviously you got to start. Obviously, you start out with the 8-9 at 12:15. Baylor versus Mississippi State. Obviously, you guys know Mississippi State, definitely one of the sleeper teams out there. Baylor winning the national championship a few years ago, looking to try to bounce back. Not the strongest team out there, but this is a very good, interesting matchup. The other thing I gotta say is, I want to say maybe the St. Mary's versus Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was a very interesting team. They were up and down throughout the season. I think they're going to be a very good matchup. Obviously, everybody's watching North Carolina now because they're thinking, was that a one-off? Was that just because they were pissed off at all the negativity that they were getting about them getting included? Or are we going to see Carolina make a run? If Carolina smashes Ole Miss, all of a sudden everybody's watching Carolina. And then you're thinking, uh-oh, are we going to have another UConn on our hands? Because remember, when UConn made their run in the national championship, they kind of caught fire at the right moment. And here's the thing, guys. Carolina's won 9 out of their last 11 going in here. So everybody was bashing Carolina because they're like, oh, but they only got 2 quad 1 wins. They got no meaningful victories. They won 8 out of the last 10 prior to this. And on top of that, they almost knocked out Duke in the ACC tournament. So all of a sudden, I knew in the back of my mind, I'm like, you guys are disrespecting North Carolina, and now you're giving them bulletin board material? Yeah, good luck with that. So I knew Carolina was going to be trouble. Everybody was all up in arms, saying how Indiana did, it should have been Indiana in it. West Virginia should have gotten the opportunity. Carolina basically showed up and was like, yeah, you shut the F up. So the one other game, and guys, I might think, and I'm going to say this, I'm calling for an upset alert here. Grand Canyon versus Maryland. I don't know why. I don't know what this is, but this matchup makes me. I'm looking at this matchup, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, we might have an upset. I don't know why, but Grand Canyon versus Maryland is spooking me. I don't like this matchup at all. Something might happen here where we might have ourselves a massive upset on our hands. I don't know why, but that's just my thought and my thought only. Then later in the day, Troy versus Kentucky could be an interesting matchup. New Mexico and Marquette, I don't know. Just off the records, we'll see how that plays out. Even Akron and Arizona's got me a little spooked. I don't know why. I want to say Arizona wins this, but I would not be stunned if we see an upset there. And then obviously UConn beginning their defense to try to three-peat for the national championship. Xavier in Illinois is an interesting matchup as well. And who knows? Do we get the dreaded 12-5? Does that rear its ugly head tomorrow? Liberty and Oregon we could get another 12-5 on our hands. We don't know. So that's what those games that I'm looking at. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, there are some games. Like you said, when it comes to tomorrow, I mean, yeah, I mean, the one, like you said, I'm going to be keeping an eye on is obviously North Carolina, because there's a lot of people out there who said, "Oh, North Carolina doesn't deserve to be in there." I mean, because of that record you talked about, Fletch. I mean, the last thing you want to do is give North Carolina bulletin board material, and who knows, with that first 4 win, who knows, maybe they were looking at like, all right, we're sick and tired of the disrespect, and we're gonna go out there, we're gonna show everyone why we deserve to be in this tournament. Yeah, and there's, I mean, UConn. That's another game I'm going to be keeping an eye on, because they're going to try to go for the three-peat here. It's going to be a much tougher road for them this time around. And who knows? I mean, we could see an. There's one matchup I think could be an upset, and I think Liberty and Oregon. I think Liberty could pull off the upset, but we're just going to have to wait and find out. I mean, yeah, Michigan State, I think they're going to be able to handle their business, unfortunately, with Bryant. And yeah, I mean, obviously, we're going to keep an eye on, of course, Duke and Mount St. Mary's. And I'm sure you heard the announcement that Cooper Flag is available. So it looks like he's going to play. So we're going to have to see early how that ankle looks. I mean, but, and what was it that you said, Fletch? If you were coaching the team, if you were coaching Duke, you said that they should rest him at least the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, that was my theory, but you know what? I'm gonna say this. from what I've been told, and John Shire has said that he is putting a major minutes restriction on Cooper Flag. So if this game gets out of hand, where Duke is just blowing
They'll
up,
take him out early.
they're gonna take him out early and they're just gonna rest him. So who knows? They might even just play him maybe a half, and that might be it because
Yeah,
I don't
because
think they're
if
gonna
they're a
play.
big time at the end of the first half, I think John Shire would be like, "Look, we got this game. You're sitting out the rest of the. You're sitting out the second half."
Yeah, and I would probably say that would probably be the right move. I get why Cooper Flag wants to play, and I get why Cooper Flag wants to play, and I appreciate it. He knows what this means for him. He knows what this means for Duke, and he knows he wants to be, but obviously an ankle injury is such a tough thing, and you don't want to re-aggravate it. And that's the one thing I think the Duke faithful are thinking right now is because of the fact that
He
Duke
could
is
re-injure it.
not only to re-injure it, but Duke is considered one of the odds-on favorites to win the national championship. So
And
you don't want
Cooper
to lose
Flag
your
isn't there,
player.
the road to the national championship for Duke would be very tough.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, that's the one thing I'm going to be keeping an eye on tomorrow when it comes to this. So who knows? I mean, could the second day be good as today? I really don't know. We'll find out come tomorrow. So nothing more for me to say. So it is yours, Florio.
Yeah. Standout games tomorrow for me. You guys pretty much said it. I like that Baylor Mississippi State matchup. That's an interesting game to lead off things tomorrow. Of course, another 12-5 upset that has been talked about. Colorado State and Memphis. I'd keep an eye on that game as well. That's got 12-5 potential right there. We'll see. Vanderbilt and St. Mary's. MF is right. That could go either way. I'm leaning more towards St. Mary's in that one, but we'll have to wait and see. Carolina and Ole Miss. Yeah, that's initially I was going with Ole Miss, but after what I saw Carolina did the other night in that first 4 game when they smashed San Diego State, I got to go with Carolina in that one now. Grand Canyon and Maryland, there definitely is potential. I'm leaning towards Maryland, but if Grand Canyon were to pull the upset, I would not at all be surprised. Everything else pretty much looks status quo. New Mexico, Marquette. We'll see how that one goes. Maybe Akron and Arizona. That's a possibility as well. I like that Oklahoma UConn matchup. That's a good game right there. Got to go with UConn there. Xavier in Illinois. That's another game to watch for. After what Xavier did against Texas, I mean, what a first 4 game that was last night with Xavier holding off Texas, coming back from 13 down to win that game, and unbelievable. So they could give Illinois some big time fits. Of course, the local school, Bryant, local college in Rhode Island, Smithfield, Rhode Island. I remember going on a field trip to Bryant during my senior year in high school. There, I went there, and I got to tell you, it was a sight to see, man. I was very impressed. I liked what I saw when I went there that day, all those years ago. Definitely one of the great experiences of my life, no doubt. And good to see them back in the tournament. But let's be honest. Let's be realistic. They're not going to beat Tom Izzo and Michigan State because we know what those guys are capable of, especially at this time of the year. And as we've seen in years past. And then from there, Liberty and Oregon. That's got 12-5 potential as well. And I think I've even gone on the record, and I think I actually did pick Liberty to win that game. So we'll see what happens. So let's get some updates right now. I do have some updates that that have come in here. UCLA has advanced, guys. UCLA, no trouble with Utah State. They defeat Utah State 72-47, a 25-point win for the UCLA Bruins, and they will now meet the Tennessee Volunteers on Saturday. That's going to be a good game right there. And we were a little bit worried about St. John's, but St. John's now starting to flex the muscle a little bit. 13:21 to go in the second half. 53-36. St. John's has opened up on Omaha. Yes, MF.
Yeah, I know, and that was the thing. It kind of was the second half adjustments, and give credit to John. Give credit to Rick Pitino, man. This guy's in his sixth NCAA. He's taking his sixth different team to the NCAA tournament, and it looked a little dicey earlier. It's not dicey anymore. It is starting to get. They're starting to look like the team that why they were the regular season and the Big East tournament champions and one of the favorites, and also one of the. I don't want to call them a dark horse, but they are one of the top tier teams of possible favorites to win the national championship.
They're championship material, wouldn't you guys say?
I agree with that. Yes.
They are indeed championship material as far as I'm concerned. And go figure. Omaha jumped out to a 7-0 lead to start this game. But ever since then, I mean, it seems like that was a distant memory. I mean, you're looking at this game now and you're saying Omaha was up to Omaha started out 7-0. Yes, they did. They actually did. But in all honesty, when you see the way the game's starting to play out now, you're like, they were up 7-0, huh? Yeah. I don't recall that, because St. John's has just now opened a 20-point lead. They're now up 56-36 with 12:38 to go in regulation. UC San Diego starting to make a run here, guys. UC San Diego, they only trail Michigan now 42-36 with 16:57 to go in regulation in that one. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that one. And late first half, 38-31, Texas Tech up on UNC Wilmington. So that's what we have for right now. And I think 45-39, Michigan up on top. And St. John's now really starting to flex the muscle now. 60-36, 11:51 to go. RJ Lewis and Zubi Ejiofor, that two-headed monster leading the way. So I don't think that, is there anything else we need to cover here tonight? I don't know if there's anything else. I think we're just about all set here. Wouldn't you guys say? So
I'm pretty content with the way we covered tonight, and we're almost about an hour in. I'd say let's call it a night.
All right. So
I say so too. I mean, because there's really not that much else to cover.
We
a lot of these games are still they're not even in the first half, and two of them are. I mean, the second half has just started. So
we're not even halfway through the second half in one game. One game's in halftime, and then the St. John's game is just a virtual blowout now. So it's there's really not a point for us to get into any bonus commentary as of now. Even though Michigan is on upset alert now, because it looked like everything was good for Michigan. All of a sudden, it's gotten tight. It's getting tight now.
Definitely. So,
but I guess we could do this behind the scenes off air. So, Anthony, let's just set up for tomorrow.
All
Future
right.
content.
So with that, we are indeed going to put the bow on this NCAA tournament edition of TXN Sports World. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. and MF. I understand we're gonna MF. I believe we're gonna continue with our coverage tomorrow night as part of the Cerebral Smack Talk. Am I right?
Yes, we are. We're gonna start off with the traditional stuff. So we're gonna do our TNA, and we'll do SmackDown Live. They basically TNA was done. I think it was a tape show today. We know SmackDown Live will be taped because they are in Europe right now. So they're in Italy tomorrow. So we got that. So we'll cover that, and then we will recap the Friday games. We will do the Friday games. I will be hosting that part, so I'll be getting into all the stats, the highlights, and if there is bonus commentary to be done, we will have it on that show tomorrow. So be prepared. It will be, you know what? We'll do it at 10:30. We're gonna do it 10:30 because normally they would say, "Oh, we'll wait till no," because the show has been recorded. You could probably find spoilers on the SmackDown because obviously it's from Italy. So we'll do 10:30. We'll do the TNA first. We'll do the SmackDown Live right after that, and then we'll go right into the NCAA. So 10:30, same time. This time on my channel, BraceFan95, Anthony Floyo. We will not have Michael Bullock. Mike, good luck on the plunge. And
thank you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So go out there and represent, and hopefully the weather's good. I know it's supposed to rain tomorrow during the day.
Oh, the weekend's gonna be dry.
All right, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah, the weekend's gonna be dry, so we're all good with that.
So good luck, brother. Me and Flair, we got it. We'll hold it down here in the mothership. We got it.
Yes.
Yeah. Unlike last year, well, at least for the Saturday portion, when it was just it was rainy, it was windy, and all that. Well, we're used to the wind because we're near the beach, so it's always going to be windy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, me and 16 other super plungers getting ready to plunge for 24 hours once again, and as of right now, we are just about $7,000 shy of meeting our goal.
Nice.
Yep.
Very good.
And I've already reached my goal. I mean, I'm actually $500 over it.
Nice.
Well done.
Great.
But I'm still taking donations. So if anybody still wants to donate, just go to my link and you can find it.
We will provide a link on that page when Anthony Florio puts this show up on the Facebook and on Twitter and on social media. We will provide a link to go out there, make the donation to Special Olympics. And just to let you guys know, it is 100% guaranteed goes to Special Olympics. There is no middleman. It's not going to no corporate suit. It goes to Special Olympics. Every donation, dollar for dollar, goes to Special Olympics for their events that they do year in and year out. It is a worthy cause. So go out there and please make your donations to Special Olympics. We'll provide Michael Bullock with that link to do it and help us and help them out.
And I can tell you guys that the President CEO Ed Pacheco is going to be joining us for the first plunge.
Nice.
All right.
Yep, okay. And of course, also for one of our super plungers, this will be his 10th year of doing it. His name is Rick Labreche. So, but yeah, I mean, we're going to be honoring him in some way. So, of course, I'll be finding out this weekend. Okay. So to anybody out there, I mean, if you want to, please go out, check us out. We'll be at Salty Brine State Beach throughout the weekend, and yeah, come cheer us on. I mean, of course, if you don't want to go out during the overnight, that's fine, because you guys will be sleeping while we'll still be out there plunging.
Man, oh man.
So thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys, and I know you guys will be thinking of me this weekend. So
absolutely,
I appreciate it, my friends.
Absolutely. So I don't know how you do. I don't know how you do that, Bullock. I really don't know. I say that every single year. How in the world do you do that every year?
Especially going into the wee hours of the morning, man. Like
Yes.
I like me and Florio, we're night owls. We normally like, especially with us, we normally stay up till at least 1, 2 a.m. on a given night. I just can't imagine getting up at 3 a.m. doing a plunge, getting up at 4 a.m. to do a plunge, to get up at 5 a.m. breaking night, as like we like to call it. I just don't like. I don't know. I don't know. I just, I don't know.
Oh, believe me. I mean, believe me, the wee hours in the morning are tough. But the thing is, we feel revic- we get a new boost of energy when the sun comes up in the morning.
There you go.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
when the sun comes up, that's when you know, hey, it's time to finish strong. And then when you know it, before you know it, 12 o'clock will be around. We'll take our final plunge, and another year will be in the books.
It will
Absolutely.
indeed.
All
It will
right.
indeed. So, and next week here on TXN Sports World, Michael Bullock, if you should be on the show next Thursday night, we'll have you share your experiences about that with us,
I most certainly will.
and I'll set the table for that in just a moment. So, all
Yeah.
right. So,
Well, yeah. Right now, you wrap it up and set up the future content.
and here is the future content. Normally, Cerebral Smack Talk starts at 11. Usually, would start at 11 p.m. immediately following SmackDown, but per MF has spoken. We're starting the show 30 minutes earlier, 10:30 p.m. tomorrow night, as we're going to have our recaps of TNA Impact and Friday Night SmackDown, and then we will also get into our continuing coverage of the NCAA tournament, the Friday action. MF will recap all the scores, and then we'll set the table for the weekend action, time permitting. So we will see about that. That'll be tomorrow night, and then Tuesday night, 10:30 here on the Tone 25, another edition of Ridiculously Raw, as we will have Monday Night Raw from Glasgow, Scotland. Yeah, Glasgow, Scotland. We'll have that on Tuesday night, and we will also have NXT on top of that. And then next Thursday night, we have another exciting edition of TXN Sports World. We will, of course, continue our NCAA tournament coverage, of course. But on top of that, gentlemen, 1 week from today, the 2025 Major League Baseball season starts.
Yes.
And you know what that means? We're going to have our 2025 MLB preview, guys.
All I can say about that is yeet,
Yeet and play ball. So,
play ball.
yeah, we'll do our division by division predictions, and we'll tell you who we think is going to win each division. We'll tell you who we think will get wild card spots, and basically what to look for in the 2025 Major League Baseball season. So we got that, and we're going to start the show with that. We're going to start the show with our Major League Baseball preview, and then in the main event, of course, it'll be our continuing coverage of the NCAA tournament, as we'll be in the regionals, the Sweet 16. That's where we'll be 1 week from tonight. So exciting times, guys. Exciting times. So what a time to be alive. So, all right. So with that being said, that's it for this. So that'll do it for this. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF's channel, Brace 95 at that special start time at 10:30. This is Anthony Florio here for good old MF, Michael Fletcher, and for the Super Plunger, Michael Bullock. And of course, always and forever in spirit, our one and only First Lady, of course, the one and only Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching this special NCAA tournament edition of TXN Sports World right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio. So long, and bye, everybody. Bye.